What is going on? Justin Ellis here with complegends.com, and week 2 has been out. This is getting out just a little bit later than I'd like to, but we still got time probably to get a couple workouts in or even repeats. So we're going to be going over 22.4, 22.5, 22.6 in separate videos. This one here is for 22.4. Let's get right into it. This is the lift of the week, and so talking about what was to come, honestly, from the predictions of last week. And this is not exactly what I thought the lift would look like. I thought it'd be a little bit more Metcon style, and you have to earn your way to the heavier barbell. But I do like the fact that they threw in some sort of element of skill there. Of course, a little bit of cardio, and then you got to test your strength. I think that sits really well with CrossFit typically. So looking into this one, 22.4, 300 double unders, and then with the time remaining in a 10-minute cap, that's when you would go into the 3-rep shoulder to overhead. So I want to go into our top 3 obvious overreactions, as we always do. And the first one, titled Boulder Shoulder. Obviously here, we're hitting the shoulders. We're hitting the shoulders with the jump rope and the double unders, and then of course we're testing the strength of those shoulders with the 3-rep overhead. So I think obviously you need to know going in this one, those shoulders are going to get taxed, and be prepared for that. Second of the top 3, relax on those double unders a little bit here. Okay, weight trumps time. So if you're really going to shoot for some sort of great tiebreaker on the jump rope, and it is always something important to talk about the tiebreaker of any workout, but it is not the most important thing. And what I mean by that is, yes, we have a lot of round numbers, so the tiebreaker will come into play, but if you have some change plates, even better. But if I go from saying my goal is to hit 155, but I hit 160, I've already beat all the 155s. It doesn't matter how fast I got to that 155. Granted, now I'm in the category of the 160s, but the perspective is the tiebreaker is a necessity of this program, but it is not. I don't think it should be it should not be at all equal to the performance of the weight lift. Okay, because the weight lift, the number that you put in, that is the first thing that matters, and then the tiebreak obviously comes in. Number 3, obvious overreaction. Reduce time under tension, rebound or not to rebound. That is the question. And maybe I said that backwards. Let's say it like this: rebound or to not rebound. That is a question. We're looking to potentially reduce time under tension with that barbell in the test. Okay, I'm not talking about the double unders. I'm talking about the shoulder to overhead. And for me personally, the time under tension will start to factor. You have that heavy barbell in the front rack position, and if I stabilize the catch every time, that takes effort, that takes work. So when I'm coming down with the barbell, if I can be able to position myself in the proper footwork and stabilize at that core, I can go straight from the top into the dip back overhead. Now, I think that adds a huge element of skill and practice there. But at the same time, if you're shooting for some sort of PR or close to a PR for 3-rep, you got to weigh out your options. If you feel comfortable with stabilizing that, and you can get your breath back underneath you, and you can re-engage everything, then don't go for the rebound. And that's why the number 3 is really the question of rebound or not to rebound. Personally, rebound's going to help me in this lift. I never do well with multiple reps having to stabilize. Front rack position is just not great for me. Let's dive into what we're going to say predictions of this week and what that might look like across the board. Now, I should say also in the intermediate side of things, those double unders are 200 and not 300, and that'll change a little bit of the strategy once we get to the deep dive. But my predictions across the board here, and we're looking at let's look at the 300 first. I think double unders, top time out of there for the 300, it's gonna be something like 240, 241. And that could be guys or girls. I don't think there's a disparity there. Let's talk about the 200 for intermediate. I think it's going to be under the two. I'm kind of basing this off of, you can get 100 in a minute. You really can. Now, are people going to sacrifice that, again, tiebreaker for their lift? Probably so. So I'm kind of having to take that in consideration. And I think the 200 is going to be under 2 minutes at, let's say, a minute 37. On the weight side of things, and man, these are always hard to project and predict. I'm gonna go big though. I think I'm gonna go big. I might be light. So on the men's side, I'm gonna say something like 355 pounds. I think this is one of those that, man, that sounds so huge for me. I mean, I feel like 315, 325 will be up there, you know, based on some of these 430 pound front squats. This one's tough. This is tough. I think 355 is really big, but I was, you know, beat by 25 pounds on last week's prediction. So I'm going to go over, and maybe I overshoot it. Women's side, 265. I don't think this is as big of a leap as the men's 355. But it's still way up there. Gosh, I'm second guessing myself right as I speak, but I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna say those are my predictions, and I'm really interested to see if that even comes close or again knocks it out of the park. Deep diving into this one in a couple things. I mean, really, you're looking at two things. You're looking at jump rope, and you're looking at shoulder to overhead. If I'm looking at this, and I'm going to go back to what we talked about on kind of the overreactions here, I don't know if it's worth sacrificing, like, you know, let's say you're on the 200 double unders or 300, doesn't matter. I don't know if I'm shooting for 100 per minute. I still want the better lift over the better tie break time. So I think that's something to think about. And here's the thing, take that even to a next step. If that's the case, if you feel comfortable with just being, you know, a good time, and we're talking about what I'm talking about too is people that can put together some double unders, right? Like if that's possible. If you're not as good at double unders, then we're not trying to be world beaters here on the tie break time, and our focus is going to be on really just trying to get this done as quickly as possible, so I got some rest time. With that being said, I'm gonna go sets. I'm gonna go sets of, like, you know, 50. I think are pretty good. You think about it, you got 4 sets of 50, a little bit of a break in between. I think you got a good time. I think you got a solid time, and then focus on your lift. If you're not as good at double unders, stick them to 25 and shorten maybe the break a little bit, but stick to 25 at a time and see how long you can get to that 200 or 300. 300, I think you're really wanting to shoot for 50 at a time. But at the end of the day, when it comes to those last, 75, 100 double unders, whatever it is, I still don't know if I'm wanting to, exhaust something to get there. But on the other side of that coin is I don't want to stare at it when I'm down to the last 30, 40, 50 double unders, because there's my time clicking away. And it works both ways, right? That's not just time for the tiebreaker, but it's also time to take 2 minutes before you even hit your lift, right? If you're in that 3-minute range or so, 4-minute range, now you got 6 minutes to do your lift. You should already have it on the board or on the bar, ready to go. Of course, you want to start and warm up to, before you even start the clock, your must-have weight, right? And it's not your goal weight. I think those two things are different, because maybe you don't know how you're going to respond to doing 300 double unders. Maybe you don't know how you're going to respond to doing 200 double unders. And you need to have, if say your goal is 300 pounds for a male athlete, I got to put on that must-have, right? That 275, that 285, something that I'm like, I know I can do this, but let's throw in the element of the double unders, the element of surprise. So, and that's, of course, if your goal is 300 pounds, right? If female athlete, your goal is 155 pounds. I mean, you need to start not with 155, I don't believe, because of the unknown. And you have plenty of time for multiple opportunities here. So, that's it. I mean, this is a lifting piece this week at 22.4. with a skill roadblock or barrier, if you will. Yes, it's going to affect the shoulders, but honestly, I felt like it helped me because I'm not a great warm-up person, and I felt like the double unders just forced me to warm up a little bit, get my heart rate up, get the sweat, and get a little heat in those muscles and joints, and it was actually kind of beneficial in a weird way. So let's cut it right there. That is 22.4, the 300 double unders, and a 3-rep shouldered overhead max. Cool that they got another lift in. Of course, we're going to have a week 2 breakdown after all the scores are in there towards the end. And so don't forget, you can go to check us out at complegends.com, and we got weekly workouts for each week. And right now we're highly focused in on the TFX qualifier, but that we'll be right back on our workouts to follow this. And so check that out at that. And of course, all the videos so far that maybe you've seen or heard or listened to. If you haven't, you want to go back and just reserve some memory. We've talked about all the first couple workouts, and then we also had a week 1 breakdown. So get to see some highlighted athletes from that week. All right, that's going to do it. And until then, let's be legends.